political landscape was already charged when Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett appeared on a nationally televised panel show to discuss women in leadership and the evolving role of political spouses. The conversation had been relatively standard, until the segment shifted to a discussion about how the image of First Ladies impacts public perception. Crockett, never one to back down from controversial territory, referenced Michelle Obama's grace, Jill Biden's advocacy for education, and then almost casually turned her focus to Melania Trump. We've had First Ladies who use their platform to empower, to educate, to fight for something bigger than themselves, she said. And then there's Melania, who posed for magazines, went silent for 4 years, and called that a legacy. The studio gasped. It was clear Crockett had crossed into territory many considered taboo. The host attempted to pivot, but it was too late. Within minutes, the comment began trending. What happened next stunned the nation and drew the fury of Donald Trump himself. It didn't take long before the backlash began to mount. Conservative media pounced immediately. Fox News ran a banner calling Crockett's statement disrespectful beyond belief, while far-right pundits labeled her a disgrace to Congress. Social media exploded with clips of the moment, both praising and condemning her candor. But the most explosive reaction came not from the usual pundits, but directly from Donald Trump himself. From Mar-a-Lago, the former president issued a scathing statement within the hour. Jasmine Crockett is a nobody who couldn't shine Melania's shoes, Trump wrote. Melania Trump was the most elegant, intelligent, and admired First Lady in history. This latest attack shows just how much Democrats hate strong, beautiful women. The response was pure Trump, personal, furious, and aimed to inflame. If he thought Crockett would back down, he was sorely mistaken. She doubled down, tweeting, "We've all seen the photo shoots. What we didn't see was any leadership." Jasmine's comment was quickly picked up across every network. CNN framed it as a bold critique of passive political spouses, while MSNBC described it as a call for higher standards in public service. Even traditionally centrist outlets ran pieces dissecting Melania's role, highlighting the Be Best campaign that many saw as vague and ineffective. But the real explosion came during a primetime cable roundtable, where Crockett was invited to expand on her remarks. With composure and clarity, she laid it out. When you have a platform as visible as First Lady, you can choose to speak truth, to champion causes, or to be silent and ornamental. I refuse to pretend that silence is grace. The moment went viral all over again. Celebrities began chiming in. Viola Davis praised Crockett for saying what many were afraid to say. Meanwhile, Trump supporters organized a campaign to boycott disrespect, attempting to rally behind Melania as a symbol of quiet dignity. Amid the firestorm, Donald Trump went on Truth Social and escalated matters further. He posted a rant claiming that Crockett's words were a racist attack against an immigrant woman who speaks 5 languages, sparking outrage on both sides of the aisle. Crockett, in a follow-up interview, clarified that her criticism had nothing to do with Melania's background and everything to do with her inaction in the face of chaos, cruelty, and conspiracy. She pointed out that Melania never addressed the insurrection, never condemned the birther lie that helped elevate her husband, and often distanced herself from the very policies her office could have softened. Elegance isn't silence when children are in cages, she said. Her words ignited a storm of support online, especially among younger voters. Memes flooded social platforms showing Crockett beside historic First Ladies, a caption speaking loudly because silence helped no one. The cultural rift only deepened. Republicans in Congress began demanding that Crockett apologize. House Minority Leader released a statement accusing her of demeaning the office of First Lady. Calls for a formal reprimand were floated, but Democrats largely stood by her. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeted, "Jasmine said the quiet part. Out loud, Melania chose complicity. Period." The Hill ran op-eds arguing that Crockett had simply opened a necessary debate about performative femininity in politics. Meanwhile, Trump's legal team hinted that Melania was considering all options for responding, including possible defamation claims. Legal experts were skeptical, pointing out that public figures are fair targets for political critique. The tension built as Crockett gave another interview on a Sunday news show where she repeated, "Melania was given for years. Staff, a platform, and she used it for photo ops and furniture upgrades. Yeah, that's not a legacy. That's a set." Peace. The room went silent. She had said it again, louder and unapologetically. Donald Trump, now clearly furious, took his attack further by releasing a campaign-style video attacking Crockett. The video juxtaposed images of Melania with classical music, narration describing her as the most elegant First Lady of our time, followed by clips of Crockett speaking with bold overlays, reading rude, disrespectful, and radical. The move backfired. Many saw it as Trump dragging his wife into a political fight she had never truly embraced. Melania has always remained silent, fueling both her defenders and critics. Meanwhile, Crockett's name continued trending, especially among Gen Z and millennial voters who viewed her comments as brave and overdue. TikTok creators began remixing her statements into viral audio formats, using them over footage of historical moments and civil rights quotes. It became clear this wasn't just a celebrity political spat. It was a reckoning about the expectations of women in proximity to power, what leadership looks like when things fall apart. Media outlets began running retrospectives on First Ladies past, comparing their legacies. Eleanor Roosevelt's activism, Betty Ford's honesty about addiction, Michelle Obama's Let's Move campaign all were held up as models of meaningful engagement. Against that backdrop, Melania's record was scrutinized more deeply than ever before. The Be Best campaign, meant to combat cyberbullying, was contrasted with her husband's own Twitter tirades. Her infamous, "I really don't care, do you?" jacket re-entered the discourse as a symbol of disconnection. Crockett's words had triggered a national re-evaluation of the First Lady's role. Historians weighed in. One noted what Crockett did was not disrespectful, it was historical analysis in real time. Meanwhile, Trump continued railing on social media, calling Crockett vicious, deranged, and jealous, each word fueling another viral cycle. But Crockett refused to respond directly to the name-calling. Instead, she posted a single photo herself, walking through the Capitol, captioned, "Louder than silence." Support poured in from unexpected places. A coalition of women's rights groups released a statement praising Crockett for challenging the myth of the decorative First Lady. Editorials ran in major newspapers defending her comments as truthful, if uncomfortable. On talk shows, the conversation evolved. What should a First Lady be? A supportive spouse? A silent partner? Or a voice for justice and clarity during national turmoil? Crockett had opened that question for public debate, and it was spreading far beyond Melania. Think pieces emerged analyzing political spouses across the globe. Meanwhile, Trump allies continued pushing the narrative that Crockett had disrespected the office rather than the individual, but that argument struggled to gain traction outside right-wing media bubbles. Crockett gave one final televised statement on the matter. "I don't attack women," critiqued silence in the face of injustice. That silence wore heels and a designer dress? That's just coincidence. As the week progressed, Trump's anger only intensified. During a campaign rally in Georgia, he dedicated a full 10 minutes to Crockett, calling her one of the nastiest people ever elected. The crowd booed on cue, but online, the moment went viral for a different reason. Crockett quote-tweeted the clip with one word, "triggered." That tweet alone generated millions of engagements. It became emblematic of her refusal to back down in the face of patriarchal fury. The drama also had real-world effects. Polling showed a spike in name recognition for Crockett, especially among independents. Donors flooded her campaign website. Late-night hosts roasted the Trump meltdown, with one joking, "Say what you want about Jasmine Crockett, but she got Donald Trump defending a woman." That's historic. The situation had evolved from a one-liner to a full-blown political phenomenon. Crockett had struck a nerve, and she wasn't backing off. In the end, Jasmine Crockett didn't just spark a media storm, she ignited a national conversation. Critique of Melania Trump, though brief and pointed, exposed long-standing double standards about the roles of political women. She challenged the narrative that silence equals grace, that beauty equals virtue, and that proximity to power excuses disengagement. Donald Trump's fury only amplified her message, showing just how threatened the old guard is by new voices unafraid to speak boldly. Melania, characteristically quiet through it all, became a symbol once more not of elegance, but of passivity in an era demanding courage. Crockett had disrupted more than a broadcast. She had shifted the paradigm, reminding millions that leadership isn't about staying polished in crisis, it's about speaking, even when your voice shakes. And in that moment, her voice didn't shake at all.